It's time. School's in session. I hear the bell ringing.
Ding.
Ding. I think we have a bell. Do we have a bell?
I don't know.
Do I have a bell? I thought I had a bell.
Well, it doesn't matter at this point. We can
No,
just
it
move right
doesn't.
along.
I thought I had a bell. Well. Anyway. We want to talk about again some stats that are maybe recognizable, maybe not. When you're trying to evaluate some players, any other info, or when you have some of this extra information, gives you a leg up on the competition, helps you spot trends a little easier, know who you should maybe start over somebody else. It's very important to know. We're going to talk about 5 for pitching and 5 for hitting. Do you want to get her started?
Yeah, I guess I can
Oh, I
do
forgot
that.
about this little graphic. I
Yeah,
forgot. We
forgot
got a
about the
new
brunette.
we got a new one this time. She's pretty.
Yep. I wouldn't kick her out of bed for eating crackers.
No, absolutely not.
All right. So the first one we're going to talk about is ISO, or isolated power. And you might have heard us reference this last week as well. This is something that measures raw power with an emphasis on extra base hits. It's a pretty simple formula. You count your doubles, your triples, and your home runs, divide it by the at bats. And there's a little bit more math there. Or if you want to cheat and do the easy way, you can take slugging percentage and subtract batting average.
There you go.
This is something where, the higher the number is, the better. To give you some context, last season, 140 was average, roughly, give or take anywhere between 140 and 150. Your two league leaders, Shohei Ohtani and Matt Olson. Ohtani was at 350, Matt Olson was at 321, and they were the only qualified hitters over 300 in this regard.
Wow. That's just nuts.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Let's see. On base percentage. Otherwise known as OBP, refers how frequently a batter reaches base per plate appearance. That counts not just hits, but walks, hit by pitches, but does not include errors, right? Yeah, does not include errors. Or times reached, like a fielder's choice doesn't count. A drop third strike isn't going to count. Sacrifice bunts don't count. They're removed as well. A hitter's goal is to avoid making it out. So on base percentage shows which hitters have accomplished that task best. You can get a lot more stats when you're on base. You can get a steal. You can score a run. This is what you need. You need players that can get on base. Billy Bean.
Yeah, I was just going to say, if you've heard of the book or the movie Moneyball, this is exactly what Billy Bean was talking about. He had identified a gap in the market where on base percentage was not being valued appropriately. Last season, an on base percentage of 320 was average. 416 led the league. That's pretty damn good.
Who was it?
I believe it was Acuna.
Acuna.
Let me pull this up here. That's pitchers. Yeah, I don't know. I think it was Acuna. I didn't jot that part down.
It makes sense that it is, but all right. You want to take slugging?
Yep, I sure do.
Got you switched.
So slugging percentage, this is a measure of total bases per at bat. Extra base hits are valued more. This is another higher number is better. When you think about slugging percentage, you're going to think about Shohei Ohtani, Corey Seager. League average slugging percentage is 414. 654 led the league last year.
It's kind of so like, and it's not like a double's not more, it's not really worth more than a single in the context of scoring, of course. But slugging percentage is one of the best evaluators of power because it accounts for more than other things other than home runs. God, I wish I could talk. Counts for more than just home runs. That would have been a much simpler phrase to use, Kyle.
A little bit.
All right, and now we're going to combine the previous two into this one. OPS stands for on base percentage plus slugging. That's what it is. You're just going to be adding the OBP and the slugging together and you will get the OPS. Again, um, it's meant to combine how well a hitter can reach base and how well he can hit for average and for power. For an example, Babe Ruth ranks number one all time in AL NL history with a career 1.164 OPS. That's insane.
It is. Last year, average was a 734
Mhm.
OPS, 1.066 led the league. And when you're comparing two players and you're using OPS, you want to make sure you're looking at the underlying numbers, because if you have two people with an 800 OPS and one of them gets on base 45% of the time, the other has a 535 slugging, those are two very different players
Mhm.
that arrived at the same result just through their own path.
That's true. That's a good point. Um, all right.
So now we are going to dive into what's called the triple slash or the slash line. And you're going to see this pretty frequently. And all it is you're just putting on the screen the player's batting average, their on base percentage, and their slugging. It's the three key metrics of hitting. It's a great snapshot into how well a hitter is hitting, getting on base, and the power that they're putting up. I like this because it gives you not necessarily a complete picture, because to me, trying to break down baseball too far is almost like a fool's errand. But this
Sometimes.
this gives
Yeah.
you a good 5,000-foot view as to how a player is performing either over the course of the season or a 2-week stretch of the season. I really like it just because of its simplicity.
It is. And you watch a baseball game, they put it on the TV, there's stats there when they're coming up. A lot of time it's that same slash line. You might hear commentators or read, they'll say a player slashed 300, 400, 500. You'll hear that phrase a lot as well. That's what that means. So they're just talking about the average OBP and slugging. Heck yeah. Now
Now
we're
we're
moving
headed
right
to the
along.
mound.
We are moving right along. Oh, yeah. I forgot those cool things. Oh, well. Budget. Oh, I'm going.
Yeah.
I'm going. Okay. We have ERA plus. It stands for adjusted earned run average. Takes a player's ERA and normalizes across the league. So we've talked about this last week, I think, that it'll adjust the score. So the league average is 100. So if you're got a ERA plus of 150, you're 50% better than the league average. So you take an example of, oh, who did I have here? Mariano Rivera's 2.21 career ERA was 1.5%, Jesus Christ, 105% better than the MLB average during the time he pitched. That gives him a career 205 career ERA. That's the best all time. I think it's probably the most universally accepted tool for measuring a pitcher's performance. It attempts to level the playing field for all pitchers by adjusting for their impact and their external factors like their ballparks and their opponents.
Yeah. This also adjusts for era as well
Okay.
that they
Yep.
pitched in. Yeah.
Era plus
It's
adjusts for ERA plus adjusts for era. It's
yeah.
confusing. But go ahead.
For context, last year Blake Snell led baseball with a 182 ERA plus. So again, he was 82% better than average. And you're going to find that with all of these statistics as we kind of go on today and in future episodes. If you see a plus at the end, that means that average is normalized to 100.
Yep.
So next on the list, we have FIP, or fielding independent pitching. Um, this estimates a pitcher's performance based on what he can control: walks, strikeouts, and home runs. That's typically referred to as the three true outcomes. So it removes fielding and random variance. The number is meant to resemble ERA. A lot of people are used to seeing, somebody, oh, he's got a 3.25 ERA. He's pitching pretty well. So they wanted to keep that same scale. That way it was something that would be easily identifiable to those who are looking at it. The lower the number is, the better.
Mhm.
Last season, MLB average was a 3.90 FIP, and Sonny Gray led baseball with a 2.83 FIP.
Yeah. To make it even simpler, a pitcher with a FIP higher than his ERA is getting lucky. His fielders are taking care of business behind him on the balls that are put in play. A lot of times you can expect regression on that. The exception is if you got a team with a great defense behind him, and there's a few out there.
Arizona,
Yeah,
Detroit.
Arizona would be a good one. Detroit was very good last year as well. But it's always nice when you got the defenders behind you that they can cause more batted balls to be outs. Your FIP will be good. I'll just let you take XFIP too, because it's just the same. It's related.
All right. Easy enough. So we've got XFIP, and that stands for expected fielding independent pitching. And so we're starting with roughly a similar base to what we had with FIP, only this replaces a pitcher's home run rate with a league average. This allowance was made just because there are some folks out there who feel that pitchers really only have limited control over home runs. This is something that's good for helping to predict future performance because it indicates how well a pitcher should have done given average luck and fielding behind him. Last season, the average XFIP was 3.97. 2.92 led the league by Mr. Spencer Strider. And this is a category where some more casual baseball fans, you're going to run into names you may not recognize, like Logan Webb and Zach Eflin as well.
Yeah. Good pitchers. Good pitchers.
Yes, they are.
Okay. Next we have WHIP, walks and hits per inning pitched. One of the most common used stats for evaluating a pitcher's performance. Kind of shows how well pitchers have kept runners off the base paths. That's your number one goal as a pitcher. Keep them off the bases. They can't score if they ain't on base. The formula is simple enough. It's the sum of the pitchers and walks, or pitchers' walks and hits, divided by his total innings pitched. The pitchers with the best whips in the league are the lowest whips in the league are generally the best pitchers in the league. Though not always. Hit batsman. Jesus, oh, I can't say that. Errors and hitters who reach fielder's choice do not count against a pitcher's whip. Yeah, your turn. That's all I got.
Yeah, I mean, this is one. It's lower the better. League average is about 1.31, and that just is saying that the average pitcher allows a little over one base runner per inning. Last season, Garrett Cole led the league with a 0.98 whip, which means he was allowing less than one base runner per inning pitched, which is pretty damn good. It's elite. Anytime you're down in 1.0 something or below that, you're in rarefied air.
Absolutely. Okay. You got the next
strikeout to walk ratio. So this one works just like any other ratio is. It compares a pitcher's strikeouts to walks issued. This is one where it's the higher the number, the better, because you're talking about the variance between the number of batters that a pitcher strikes out versus the numbers of walks issued. It indicates pitchers who have better control and effectiveness. Last season, the average across Major League Baseball was a 14.1% K to walk ratio. I think it was 22% strikeout rate and a little bit over 4 or 8% walk rate. And all it is you're taking the difference between the two numbers. Some players who, some of you may recognize who excel in this category would be Max Scherzer or Clayton Kershaw. These would be pitchers who strike out a great deal of batters, but don't really issue many free passes.